Hey everybody, Stisson here. Welcome back to another Apex Legends video. In today's video, guys, we're going to be doing Seer versus Bloodhound Part 2. If you guys didn't see the first part, Seer did claim victorious, but with the recent nerf to Seer, all of that might change. So we're going to be going through their abilities and their entire kit to see who can reclaim or claim the title of the Better Recon Legend. Before we continue, if you guys like Apex Legends or you like me as a person, make sure to smash that thumbs up button. Follow me on my Twitter, my Instagram, and my TikTok for more things that I post there. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content. But if you're not going to subscribe for me, subscribe for Pathfinder. You like Apex, you like Pathfinder, subscribe. But anyway, I don't want to go on a tangent, so let the battle between Seer and Bloodhound begin. Alright everybody, I'm going to start off by explaining the layout of this video. It's going to be a bit different than the first part. I got really in-depth into the details of all their abilities, but I'm not going to do that in this one because I don't want to seem too repetitive or redundant. So we're just going to talk about more about how the individual abilities affect the game and the gameplay and all that stuff. We're going to be talking about the passive, starting with Seer's Heartbeat Sensor. Now, Seer's Heartbeat Sensor, if you guys haven't seen the past videos on my channel, that is probably, at the moment, the most annoying part about Seer for me. Seer's heartbeat, it's not as good as it used to be, so I'm happy about that, but it's still gotten me into pretty sticky situations. Like I've explained before, last few squads, endgame circles, and then all of a sudden the Seer just full-on attacks our squad with no warning because he can detect you with that heartbeat. So there's just been plenty of situations where the Seer clutches that fight because we have no sense of what the enemy team has. But the Seer knows where we are, the Seer knows where the other teams are, and it's like, he can really pick out the rats, or he can really just give that team, their team, that information as to whether to push. They know that they're going to have to move into circles, so let's go get them. I know where they are, they don't know that we're here. So it's like, that's the one thing about Seer that really grinds my gears, but I don't know what much more they can do about it because you can't completely break a character's abilities, because then it just doesn't work out. You can't make him unusable either, so it's gonna be really hard if they continue to adjust Seer in the near future. Now we're gonna be talking about Bloodhound's passive. Now I love Bloodhound's passive. It really gives me an idea as to where enemies went, where they're gonna be, how long away it was that they were there. It gives you also a lot of information with the amount of time passed since that enemy team went through there with the footsteps, 30 seconds perhaps, or you can tell if they healed in that certain spot, so you can tell if they're weak, you can tell if somebody died with a certain weapon. Bloodhound's passive also gives you a lot of information, and it really gets into detail. But the difference between that and Seer is that Seer's information is fast. It's instant practically. If you're in a certain range, boom, you know where they are. If you're Bloodhound, you really actually have to be a tracker and look around, so that can be a bit time consuming. It can also be a bit of a distraction. Sometimes when I play as Bloodhound, just for the heck of it, I like to chase. I like to be like, yo, we're 20 seconds behind this squad, let's go. So we'll full on go towards them, and it can really distract you from other teams following a trail, so you have to really be weary of that. Don't just focus on those footsteps that you're following. There could be a team over there to the side of World's Edge Fragment. There could be over there by Harvester. It's like a whole bunch of things you gotta worry about when you're doing the tracking thing. So that's like one negative thing about Bloodhound's passive, is that it can be very distracting. But it gives you a lot of information. It's just not as fast as Seer's. So because of that, they both give you some pretty good information, but I feel like Bloodhound's has a little bit more of a negative to them. I'm gonna have to give Seer a point for the passive round. That's just my opinion. You guys let me know what you guys think. Does Bloodhound have the better passive, or does Seer does? Let me know down in the comments below. It's all just for the fact that I don't see any negativity towards Seer's heartbeat. I feel like it's just to the point, that squad is over there, the other squad is over there. You don't have to really work for it. Whereas Bloodhounds, you have to work to get the information that you want. So once again, Seer gets the point for the passive round. Alright everybody, now we're going to be moving on to the tactical round, starting with Seer's focus of attention. Now I'm not going to lie to you guys, ever since that nerf to Seer's Q, his tactical, I feel like it's not as good anymore. But let me explain. Now with that 0.2 hit delay, it actually makes a huge difference and how hard it can be to hit Seer's tactical, and it makes it way easier as an opposing team to move out of the way. So honestly, I've dodged a lot of Seer Qs lately ever since that nerf, so in a way it kind of makes that ability not useless per se, because it does still do the reveal and it can do all the interrupts with the healing and the rezzing and the abilities and stuff. But most of the time, I would say like 80 to 90% of the time lately, I move out of the way. And you would think 0.2 of a second doesn't make much of a difference, but it really does. And I also feel it when I'm playing Seer. I miss it a lot more of the time, especially in combination with the heartbeat. with the heartbeat not working as effectively in terms of how fast you get the heartbeat visual or the sound, it kind of coincides with each other and it doesn't work as well. It still gives you pretty good information and it can do some good things with the res. That really comes into clutch. But other than that, if you're not using it for a sense of interrupt, it's not that crazy, in my opinion, honestly. It's easy to avoid now. It doesn't do damage, which is not a big deal, but it still does all the interrupt things. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Let me know what you guys feel about those interrupts. Do you still want them there? Do you think it's not a big deal? Let me know about that in the comments below. But yeah, Seer's tactical lately has just not been it, and I'm actually kind of happy about that, because it was pretty wild when he first came out. But enough about Seer. We're going to move on to Bloodhound's tactical, which is the scan. We all know and love that scan. Bloodhound's scan, as long as you are within range, which I think is 75 meters, maybe a bit more, or you're in that 120 degree cone, you are going to get your scan off. You're going to hit it, you're going to scan anybody that's in that vicinity, and it's pretty much unmissable. And it's going to give you all that information that you need. How many hostiles there are. It's going to tell you how many clues there are, where they went, all that good stuff. So Bloodhound's Q is really good, and it's always been pretty good. I forgot to mention this in Seer's tactical. The visual of Seer's tactical is also pretty big, but Bloodhound's is also bigger. So those are both negatives on both sides, that the visual is pretty huge. Bloodhound's is a bit more noticeable, but because of the fact that Bloodhound's, I feel, gives you more benefit now than Seer's does, just because it's unmissable. It's just way easier to hit. It's faster to pull off. It's practically unmissable as long as you get the angle right. It's just a scan. It gives you information like that. Honestly, Bloodhound's Q is just really good. So because of all that, I don't really see any negatives besides the size to Bloodhound's tactical. So because of that, I'm going to give Bloodhound a point in the tactical round, which is totally different from the last video. Seer won this category. Things might be changing a little bit in this video. Yeah, it's just because Seer's tactical now is way more missable than it used to be. That's why Bloodhound's tactical was also very good, but now because Seer can miss, it's not as good anymore. So that's why Bloodhound definitely gets the point for this round, just because it's way easier to hit than Seer's is now. So again, Bloodhound takes the point for the tactical. Alright, lastly, we're going to be getting into the ultimate, starting with Seer's, the whole dome thingy. I forgot what it's called. Here's the thing about Seer. His dome, it's still destroyable. He throws his heart out, and it creates a huge dome that you can reveal enemies that are running within it or they're shooting. You can still destroy it. So that's already one negative right there. It gives you a lot of information, which is really good, but as long as you relax, you stay crouched, or you walk, I don't remember again which one it is that doesn't get you revealed, or you don't shoot, it's not going to give Seer any information, or his team, it's not going to give them any information. It can be destroyed, you can counter it, and that's really all it does. And now it has a longer cooldown because of the nerf. Instead of going 90 seconds, which is the same amount of time as a jump pad or a Loba Black Market, I believe, now it's 120 seconds, which is 2 minutes, which it's still kind of often. But honestly, because it's easily counterable, I don't mind it being 2 minutes long. But Seer's ultimate is really good in certain pinches where we know that the enemy team is going to have to move, so you can throw your ult in a way to gatekeep the team, because you're going to see them coming in. So it's definitely really good in certain pinching and situations of gatekeeping like that. But in the middle of a firefight, in zone, maybe? I'm not sure if it's the best thing. I've destroyed it. You have to place it really good. I rarely see them nicely placed. It's good in its own ways, like I said, for that. But honestly, I just believe it's counterable, but it's very useful in those situations where you need to pinch, you need to gatekeep, you need to keep people at a distance because they know you're going to keep track of them. Not to say it's a bad ultimate, but now, after playing Seer and playing against Seer for so long, to me it's a decent ultimate now. But lastly, we're going to be moving on to Bloodhound's ultimate, which is Beast of the Hunt. Now, I love Bloodhound's ultimate so much. Their ultimate is so much fun to use. Everything goes black and gray, but the enemies are pinpointed, painted red. It gives you all the clues, all the information that you need. You move faster. It's just so much fun to use. And you get your scan, I believe, like every 6 seconds. I can't think about it off the top of my head, but when you're in your ultimate, you get your scan cooldown much faster. So I was going to say that Bloodhound's ultimate is more of a self-information thing, but if you get your scan every few seconds, I'm lying to you guys. You get that scan off, boom, that's where the enemy team is. Then you gotta wait like 5 seconds maybe. Boom, there's another scan. Your team is going to more or less know where the opponents are as long as you communicate well, you ping, you scan in the right angles. Then your team is going to know everything. So Bloodhound's ultimate is so good, and you don't have to use it just in a fight. Sometimes I use it for mobility reasons. Sometimes I use it to scan areas if we're rotating, so I know where certain teams are. Like 300 meters away, I can see just like 2 red dots. Boom, there's an enemy team all over there by epicenter. Oh, there's an enemy team all the way coming from the landslide tunnel. It's all of that information that they can give you, which is awesome. So with all of that being said, both ultimates give you information in their own way, but I feel like Bloodhound's ultimate just has a bit more edge than Seer's does, and Bloodhound's ultimate is also non-counterable. All of that, I'm going to give the ultimate round to Bloodhound. To me, Bloodhound's ultimate just has way more benefits. It gives way more details and more information to us as a team than Seer's does. It is uncounterable, so I had to give the point to Bloodhound. So kudos to Bloodhound. You did good. You are an amazing recon legend. Alright everybody, we have determined that Bloodhound now is the better recon legend between Seer versus Bloodhound. I really wanted Bloodhound to win in the first part, but Seer definitely just had the upper hand. But now with these recent Seer nerfs, and I think there are more nerfs to come, Bloodhound has definitely become the superior recon legend of the two. They're both good legends, they can both be used for certain things. It's just Bloodhound, I feel like now has more benefit, is easier to do things for certain things. They both have their benefits, but Bloodhound, I believe, is the better one. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you think Seer is still OP? Do you think Seer is better? Or do you think Bloodhound has definitely taken the throne? Let me know all of your guys' thoughts and opinions. I would love to hear it. We can have a discussion down in the comments. But anyway, I'm about to wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate every single one of you for tuning in. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content. With all that being said, once again, I appreciate you all. I'll see you all on the next one.